Hello everybody, this is Christina at Scrapcraft and Stitchery. I have just completed actually the July Junk Journal Challenge. I have a few more of these to stamp off, which we can just do that now. If I can figure out where I put my... This is my tracker. The July Junk Journal Challenge took place every... oh, I have a lot of these to check off because I haven't apparently done any of these this week. So that completes. This is my tracker. The July Junk Journal Challenge was to do a junk journal page every day in July, every weekday in July. So there's 23 pages, and I'm ready to do my flip through, and I will I want to show you what this journal looked like before, but this is what it looks like now. It's gotten lovely and fat, and this is I made this from packing paper that I had from, packages, and just folded it into an accordion style journal, and it has gotten remarkably large and fat, and I am going to show it to you here now. And so I just want to do a flip through. This is Torn Edges, and I wrote a poem for this to kind of get things started, and made this heart that's woven out of fabric and scraps, as well as some just papers that I had left over from my junk journal, making junk journals. And this is Touch of Gold, where this is kind of inspired doodles and patterns work from inspired by Gustav Klimt's work, and I think it came out beautifully. I enjoyed playing around with the colors and the patterns that he uses in his work. Fabulous artist. This is botanical was the theme here, and I went, and from walking around my house and on walks I went through in the springtime, there was the red mulberry tree that blooms, and this is about that, and these are the leaves on the tree. And this is something vintage, where I kind of went all out and made this vintage inspired dress. I love how this came out. It was so much fun to do all of this. This has a tag here. Just a beautiful page, and kind of inspired by a vintage dress shop. A lot of fun. This is the prompt here was on day 5 was tag, and I did a graffiti theme, and made a concrete wall out of crackle paste, and just a lot of fun to do all these different lettering on all of these tags. Was just copy 24/7. That's me. So that was fun, and I got to play with all these really bright papers from my stash. So much fun. One color, I chose a random hex code color, which wound up being this C67, which is a computer code for this pink color, and so I chose to do some AI art of flamingos, and changed all of it into this color online and printed this out. That was a lot of fun, and that was day 6. Day 7 was Stamp It, and I kind of stayed in the same one color theme, and did a lot of stamping and a lot of embossing, using salvage patina from the Tim Holtz line, ink pads and embossing powders, and a stamp collection that I have that I'd never used before, so that was fun for me. I did something a little bit simpler for the next day. This is day 8, words, where I just made some fun and playful flowers, and I chose the word play to play with and used some dictionary page on the background for that. And this is day 9. This was lace, and I used these images from the Imaginarium? No, from a sticker book, and did some collage and added some lace, but these are kind of also jellyfish that are very lacy looking. So that page was a lot of fun. I had really a lot of fun playing with my Stabilo pencil to kind of blend these into the stickers into the background. This is Worn, where I started with an old shirt that I had and pulled the colors out of it and used an old worn shirt to make something very new. I love this paper doll, and I really liked making the paper doll. I really liked how she came out, and so I do some more paper doll kind of things later. This theme here was scribbles or doodles, and I have some images that are kind of personal images that I included on this page, and I just really was in the mood to play with color, so I got in there and did a lot of coloring and doodling, and that was very fun and very personal. And here is window or peek through, and so I built this beautiful page reflecting on where I'm at in my own life, and I kind of am centered in, like, this bookcase really represents everything that I've gathered from the past, places I've been or lived, and things that I've learned. And so this is kind of a representation of me sitting here staring out the window, and you can see into next page, which is map. That was also the last page in this accordion fold before I started coming back to day 13. This is map was the prompt, and I made this little paper doll girl who also represents, it's kind of an autobiographical page, and this represents kind of the future and all the places that I can go. And this paper doll is on a paper clip, and she can move through this page, although I can never get her to go in there, and be at different places on this page and move around. So that was a really fun page, and it got to include all of these fun, kind of fantastical places like the Heartlight Spires and the Library of Light and the Whispering Pines and the Mountains of Stillness. So had a lot of fun playing with this map and this girl, and that was very fun. And this page is Faded Photo, where I made a packing tape transfer of this picture and kind of really faded it in, and it's just antiqued this page, and that was really a lot of fun techniques that I used. This is written in the margins, and I had some watercolor images that I had made, and I wrote around them on the margins of my watercolors, as well as around the edge of here. And this page was kind of reflective of a botanical journal in a kind of fantastical way. This page was postcard, and it is honoring a trip that we took, and also just kind of some local places where I live. And I made a waterfall flip out for this, so these postcards can kind of come in a postcard display. And some fun. And this is from a place that we go fairly often in Arkansas and camp, and it's got the river here. And this is when we go hiking, we can go hike up Sugarloaf Mountain while we're there, so that's kind of fun. This page is Found in the Forest. I took some leaves that I had picked these maple leaves. Actually came off of a branch that had blown down, and I found it and saved some of the leaves and pressed them in a book and put them on just a background that's collaged with book pages and dictionary pages, and it's just so simple and so pretty. This is Bird, and this depicts the story of the raven who brought light to the world, and in doing so, and in this selfless act, was singed black into the blackbird that we see today. And this page was really about friendship and community. The theme was tea bag, and there's some tea bags collaged onto these journal cards, but this page was really representative of the community, the junk journaling community, and all of the people who have taken part in this collaboration and worked hard on their own journals and their own pages, and just the support and the friendships that have grown out of that. And so that's this page, and these have just has so much texture, and it's so wonderful to use the tea bags and some coffee filters for this, and it's just a beautiful page, and it has all the names of the channel names of the people who have worked on, took part in the Junk Journal July Challenge in 2025 in the background. So that was kind of a really special and fun page about friendships. And this is Old Person, and I had this beautiful image of this woman who's a weaver, and she's at her loom, and I included, because I have a love of fibers, and I included a swatch of my knitting that I had in this beautiful yarn that I purchased on a trip that I took with a friend back in 2017. So that was kind of fun for me. This is Antique Pattern, and Antique Pattern, I found these beautiful crochet patterns, and that were first published in 1913, and I used them to create this page, and I journaled a little bit about the patterns here on this tag, and made a journal card, and I did some journaling and added some more just images and some more of this patterning on this journal card, which tucks in here. Beautiful, beautiful patterns. Very fun to work with. This page is Ticket, and I again went with kind of a travel theme. A friend of mine had given me this beautiful paper from when he went to Italy, and I used it to build this pop-out page, which is just really super fun and beautiful. And I included for Ticket a quote that says, "A mind sparked by imagination needs no ticket, only the desire to create," which kind of themes up the idea behind this junk journal itself. And the last page, which I have just finished, is a book page where I really kind of honored books by using this beautiful paper from this book. And it's a French book, and it just has the most beautiful text and writing and images, and I've used those images and mixed them with some digi-kits and some more of that antique pattern and pages from in true junk journal style, just kind of using up the last bit of the paper from the day before. This kind of wraps around beautifully and carries over onto this page, and I had a really great time just playing with these neutrals and thinking about messages, whether they're written or spoken, and the way that comes, and I was really super excited because I've wanted to make a page kind of like this in neutral tones and just using like a simple book page that's really neutral. And I played with some my Stabilo pen and for these tags, and just doing some inking techniques, and I think they came out really, really beautiful, playing with my distress inks that in a way that I don't do very often. So, and it's absolutely wonderful. And that is it. We are back to the last page in the journal, which is the prompt list. Thank you to Lee at Lee's Art and Junk Journal Wonderland for hosting this year, and it has been wonderful, and I am so grateful for everyone who's collaborated and joined my channel and watched as I've created all of these pages. It's just been wonderful, and I'm grateful for all of how supportive everyone has been and how wonderful this community is. And that is my junk journal, and it is finished now, and it is such a wonderful, wonderful feeling to have like completed one journal in 1 month. And thank you for watching, and thank you for sharing. And until next time, stitch scrappily and scrap happily, and I will see you next time.